Our theme this month is purpose. And my topic today is growing into our own shoes. Growing into our own shoes. Each and every person is born here with purpose and meaning. This purpose is not just some one big thing that's out in the by and by. That at every moment of every day, regardless of how old or how young you are, your life has purpose. Just sink that in for a moment. There's not just like the big one. Yes, there are things that I think that we are here to become and all of the rest of that, but it's not a wait until you mature to a certain level in order for you to be your purpose. You are your purpose. You're it all the time. It's going to manifest itself in different kinds of ways as you go along. One of the things I felt like I really learned from my guys in prison with the prison outreach program is that if you are here in this incarnation for a certain something, you will be that something. You will be it. If you're here to be a leader, you're going to be a leader. If you're here to care and to be of service, you're going to be care and give service. If you are here to sing, you're going to sing. Say, you will do it wherever you are. Catch that. You will do it wherever you are and never allow the circumstances that you were under to make you think that you can't be or do whatever that is. Some people just bring joy. That's what they do. And no matter where it is that they are, they do that. I remember all of a sudden I'm thinking of a couple of instances when I first met the Downings. There was, actually I think Ganena was the one who was there. I'm not sure if Russell was there, but this was many years ago when we were still back at the Vets building. And I can't think of her name now because we just called her Baby Ruby. There was a child that I don't think lived more than like 9 months or something like that, some kind of a rare disease, but it was extraordinary. The funeral home, when we had, it was packed. It was packed. I met them at the memorial service. Ganena was doing hospice, and this little baby in 9 months had linked all of these people around the community just in those 9 months. Just in those 9 months. I'm remembering a story that I read years ago in the Science of Mind magazine, where a woman had a baby, and the baby came to like full term and was stillborn. And she was just absolutely beyond heartbroken. And a couple of days later, the baby came to her in a dream. And the baby said, "Thank you. Thank you." And reminded the pregnant mom that the whole time she was pregnant, she was walking around and she would go up to people and say, "Touch my baby and fill it with love and light." She said just uncontrollably, she would go around and do that. Touch my baby and fill it with love and light. And the baby said to her, "Thanks. I got what I needed. I got what I came for. I don't even have to do this thing. I already got it." If there's a purpose, If you choose not to carry a pregnancy to term, whatever soul, it'll get another vehicle. You can't stop souls from doing whatever it is that souls need to do. And I have grown to really appreciate the concept of reincarnation. My religion theology didn't teach that, but I firmly believe that. I can't understand it. I don't tell you how it works, but I do not believe for one moment that this is it. Like you get one shot at this thing for 1 year, 20, like that's it for all eternity. No, I don't believe that. And whatever purpose that is, there's something, I can't explain it all, but I really do believe that there's something accumulative. There's something that is progressive, that as we come into our incarnations, each of us is working some stuff out, like whatever that is. And like every incarnation has its issues, so to speak. And that's your issue for this time. Whatever that is, I'm not enough. It's a friendly universe. Whatever, I'm good enough to do this or that. I'm lovable. That's yours. That's yours. And you're going to keep coming back to that one, like over and over and over again, different ways, higher and higher planes, where you're not freaking out and you're not as afraid anymore of the stuff that's coming up. And after a while, when your stuff comes up, you're like, oh, I got something for you now. You won't be stopped. You won't be in fear. See, that ego self of ours is afraid. That ego self never believes that it can live up to our potential. Our ego self is always afraid of our greater callings. It'll give you all of the excuses for why not you and why you're not good enough and why you're not ready. And I say all the time, if the call for your life, this big something that's bigger than you, that's calling you up and out of yourself, you can call it your dream, your vision, your purpose. If it doesn't scare you half to death, dream a bigger dream. If it does not scare you half to death, then you're not dreaming, you're planning. If it doesn't scare you half to death, then you are not stretching out beyond your comfort zones. Because your calling will always feel like it's just a little bigger than you are. Listen to what I'm saying. It'll always feel like you have to grow into it in some kind of way. And that's okay. Because we do grow into it. We grow into it. I had just the biggest chuckle last night when I was, my practice is on Saturday night. I always go back and review the affirmations and the reading and all of that, because I send the stuff in weeks in advance and I just get confused. I never know. It's like I remember what the theme is, but I can't remember like this specific topic. So when I saw that the topic was growing into our own shoes, I had to holler. So Thursday night, a few days ago, I went into LA. And I went into LA for what I was talking about before the cameras were rolling, to go to this wedding. So I'm staying at the family house. This is a house that they moved into when I was 6 months old. Never moved. Okay? So nothing ever left. They never moved. So there's this one big cabinet that's on the second floor where all the linens and stuff are in. And it just, there's a lot of random stuff and whatnot that was in there. So for various reasons, that closet was being cleaned out. Never in my life had I seen that closet like near empty. And I opened the thing up looking for some linens. And on the bottom shelf, I kid you not, the only thing that was there were baby shoes. Were baby shoes. And there were 5. There were 2 pair. Obviously, you know, you could tell they were a pair. And then one, like, extraneous one that was a little bit smaller. And I knew everything in my gut said that the smaller pair were my shoes and that the slightly bigger ones were my brother's shoes. And when I saw this grow into your own shoes and it's my birthday, I thought, oh, this is rich. This is rich. I keep getting the flash of that moment. It's like an instant picture of opening that thing up and seeing the shoes. And seeing the shoes. Those were obviously some of my very first shoes. But I wasn't meant to stay in those shoes. Like I said, your life has meaning, purpose at every stage. You're not supposed to have the same shoes all your life. Because you can't fit. You're either too big for those shoes, or you can't fill in the other ones yet. Listen to what I'm saying as a metaphor. Some of us are trying to put our feet into shoes we have outgrown. Some of us have emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, or whatever, bound our feet. Like they do in some cultures to make sure that the feet don't grow. I'm just saying. There was a lot of controversy out about Barbie, the doll. So Barbie came out with my generation. And one of the complaints about Barbie was that she was not built anatomically correct. And that one of the biggest things that was off was that her feet were too small. That for her body structure, those feet weren't big enough to be solid and to hold her. Let's think of a metaphor for that, where Barbie became the icon, like the legend of a whole generation, and continues on, and people trying to starve themselves and look like her or do this or that. But she's got a base that won't even hold her. She's got a base that won't even hold her. We grow into our shoes. Whenever we got new clothes, I always wanted to show off my new clothes. But there was usually a problem with my new clothes, which was that quite often they didn't fit. You'd have to roll up the jeans at the bottom or roll up the sleeve. Why? So I could grow. Because they knew if they bought me the stuff that really fit right then, it wasn't going to last a month or 2. Are you with me? So it's like Spirit's doing that with us. Spirit's constantly giving us new clothes. And we're going, but these can't be mine because it's like a size or two too big. Certainly these aren't the clothes you want me to wear because they don't fit. So they must have been like for somebody else. It's like, no, they're for you. Put it on and grow. It's for you. Grow into it. Just let that sink in for a little bit. And growth is not even. We have those moments sometimes when we have the equivalent of growth spurts. In his book, Spontaneous Evolution, Bruce Lipton explains how, cosmically speaking, that's also true. Over evolution and time, it isn't just an even growth. But we have these moments in collective consciousness where there's a growth spurt. Are you with me? There's a whole frequency that has quickened. And I'm sure it has not gotten past you. That over the past 10 years, 7 to 10 years, everything is just faster. There's just a speeding up. And sometimes it feels like everything is going faster than what we can do and faster than what we can handle. And yes, the frequency actually is faster. That is actually happening. See, that there's this spurt that's happening. Okay? There's these opportunities. And I heard it in the Spirit letter a couple of years ago. It was saying that for my life, the equivalent was more like a 1 to 4. That every month would feel like 4 months. And I don't know about you, but it's only February 9th, and it feels like Christmas was for me, it feels like that was a long time ago. Like when we finally got out of January, it was like, oh my God, we have been in January this long? It might be different for you. Like everybody's got their own timing thing that's going on here. But what I can say is that something is quickening, something is happening, and this growing into our own shoes, this happens at a collective level as well. So we just completed the so-called trial, impeachment trial, this past week of Donald Trump. And regardless of what you think about it, historically speaking, that happened. That happened. This noble thing about in the Declaration of Independence, this preamble that says that we are all created equal. That this truth is self-evident. It doesn't even have to be proven. It's so self-evident. That all men are created equal. Now, back then they didn't mean all men, let alone everybody. And are endowed by their Creator. Ooh. That's as a spiritual manifesto here. It's not given by the government. It's not given by your station in life. Endowed by their Creator with certainly inalienable rights. You can't even take it away. And just among these, not an exhaustive list, just among these is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words have inspired democracies all over the world. Those words inspired Martin Luther King Jr., the civil rights movement. They were shoes that were too big to be filled in that day. Listen to what I'm saying. It's just like when your mom buys you the stuff and you don't want to make it too small because you're going to outgrow it. We built a foundation for this nation that was too big for the consciousness of the day. Let that sink in for a moment. It was too great and grand and glorious of an idea for the mentality of the day. And we are in the process of growing into that. We are in the process of filling out those shoes. Filling out those shoes. Because the ones who created it didn't have the consciousness. They couldn't perceive a co-gender world. They couldn't perceive an interfaith world. They couldn't perceive a multiracial world. They didn't have that consciousness. Are you with me? Oh! There's such truth in that. And don't let the fact that somebody hasn't lived up to the truth that they espouse make you think it's not true. Yes. Listen to just what I said. Don't let the fact that people did not live up to the very truth that they espouse make you think it's not true. The truth will be told even if it takes a liar to tell it. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Too many people in rejection of the church have turned away from their own spirituality because of the hypocrisy. Don't allow the hypocrisy of politicians to stop you from your civil duty. Don't let how other people have messed up money stop you from standing in your spiritual wealth and power as protest. We grow into these shoes. We just celebrated Martin Luther King Jr.'s weekend not too long ago. And I love the way that his wife put it. She said, Martin didn't make the movement. The movement made Martin. Listen to that. Said Martin didn't make the movement. The movement made Martin. He had to grow into that. Are you with me? He had to grow into that. He was a young man. He was just in his mid-20s during the Montgomery bus boycott. Scared. He'll tell you he had a doctorate in theology, but he really didn't know God. Third generation preacher. But it was on the journey. It was on the journey that he learned. You will get what you need when you need it as you go. We want to have it all before we get started. We want to see the whole picture before we go. It's like that GPS. Go on this for 2 miles. And you wonder what's next. When you get to 2 miles, it'll give you the next direction. We don't get to see the whole thing. You don't get to see all of life. It's too complex for us to see. But if you will just understand that nothing is without purpose. Nothing is without purpose. And that whatever that is that you think is too much, you'll grow into it. Everybody thinks it's too much. I don't know of anybody who just, oh yeah, I can handle this. Everybody. Moses, it's like, God, you must be nuts. You must be nuts wanting to send me. Let my people go. What are you talking about? You want me to go back to Egypt and free some folks? Are you kidding me? He was on the lam. Moses was wanted for murder because he had killed an Egyptian guard and he got out of Dodge. What are you talking about? Go back. Saying, but you were raised in the Pharaoh's house as his grandson. You got to go back. Saying, but I can't, I'm old. You got to go back. I can't, I stutter. Moses couldn't have got out, let my people go if you paid him. He stuttered. God said, I'll send your brother Aaron to do the talking. I don't care what it is. You will get what you need. David and Goliath, whatever it is, whatever metaphor you want to use, you will get what you need when you need it. Nobody that left Egypt in the Exodus story of the Israelites, nobody who was in captivity made it to the promised land. Only the ones born on the journey. Moses got to see it. This is what King Jr. was talking about when he said, I've seen the mountaintop, but I may not get there with you. He was quoting Moses. I can see it. I may not get there, but you'll fill out your shoes. Don't worry about the territory that you didn't get a chance to walk through. You will get to walk through the territory you're supposed to walk through. This big chain of life that's going on. And each of us is a little link, like on like cars that are linked together. You're no accident. You're no mistake. And as it said in the reading, your job is just to say yes. Your job is not to figure out how your calling is going to come into being. You don't know. You can't figure it out. You didn't decide it in the first place. All we have to know is that if you are asked to do something, it's possible. If you are shown that there's something for you to be, it's possible. That's our only job. That's our only job, is to just know that it's possible and to stop with all the small talk about why it's not. That's our job. You will get what you need. If the shoes seem too big, know you're going to grow. You're going to grow. And isn't that wonderful? Yes. Isn't that wonderful? Yes. That we're not stuck as an individual person, as a society, that we're constantly growing. Don't throw in the towel on this nation. Don't throw in the towel. Now's the time for us to step it up and grow a little bit. Yes. Don't give up on your relatives, wherever they are. I'm serious. Now's not the time to separate. A true democracy means differences. A true democracy is about finding ways to work together, to come together. The left wing, the right wing, curved in opposite directions. It's aerodynamics. There's a symmetry that keeps us balanced. Left wing's not going anywhere without the right wing. Right wing can't fly without the left. Get over it. There's only one of us here. Embrace it all. Embrace it all. Fill out your shoes. Let's pray. Let's pray. Fill out your shoes. Turning within in this moment. We're just grateful for life, for being part of the unbroken chain of life since the beginning of time. Our presence, no accident, but an imprint of the master hand. In this moment right now, we stand naked. Naked. Disrobed. We take off the armor, the guilt, the shame, the judgments. We unpack ourselves from the weight of it all. The hopes, the dreams, the desires, the expectations, the agendas, the timetables, the if I coulda, woulda, shouldas. We just put them down. Just as we are, we come. And even as we hear that siren in the background, whatever that situation is, we're praying all is well. Every place we turn, it's just sirens everywhere. Whether it's in the form of news or Facebook or doctor's reports or credit reports, sirens are everywhere. And as we were singing about earlier today, it is well with my soul. So we have the audacity in this moment to pray, to lift our consciousness above all the minutia, the clutter, the cloud of the confusion. We will forever lift up our eyes unto the hills from which cometh our help. Our help comes from the divine. Oh, how sweet it is. We know that the only thing that is, comes through always, is all needs met. Health in the body temple. Restoration, rejuvenation. Whether it's our physical body, our financial body, our political body, our earth body, healing takes place. Wholeness, it's there. We say thank you for the reconciliations that take place. Not just with other people, but within our own selves. So that we can have that peace that passes all human understanding. Where we're loosed from addiction, old habit patterns and thinking of lack and limitation. Anything that would bog us down, anything that would eclipse our spiritual eyesight. we allow the light of truth to dissipate it like the fog so that we see clearly. We pray the prayer of enoughness and sufficiency, all needs met. Divine right, everything from transportation to employment to sustenance. Divine right, housing. Divine right, support and encouragement and guidance. Whatever it is that we need. Thank you, God. We say thank you for this spiritual community, for spiritual communities everywhere. And we say thank you for the new shoes. For wherever you're taking us. Because as big as this edifice may appear to be, these shoes are too small. Because it's not about the building. And we say thank you. Wherever it is, we open up wide and say thank you for our divine, right, perfect residence. Whatever's next, so be it. Oh, it's a good God day. We release this word. We know it does not return void, but is already fulfilled herein. It is good, it is done. We get out of the way, we allow it to be. And so it is.